Good day everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be discussing One Piece chapter 1041 titled Komurasakiii. Um, Before we begin, spoiler warning of course. So yeah, let's dive straight into this review, this discussion. So chapter begins and we see Niji, is it Niji? Yeah, it's Niji and Yonji, both on the cover. They're still in Mondial's book, pinned to the book. However, we don't see the nails really that much on them, but we know they're pinned through their chest. And we see Pudding basically hit each of them a punch to the face, and their faces are swollen, like how Sanji's face was swollen. And that's revenge for them bullying him when he was younger. We then dive straight into the chapter. Essentially, the chapter starts off with see Momo and Zunisha there speaking, and essentially Zunisha is telling Momo she's come to join this, his side to help in this big battle, to fight beside him. And one of two things could happen. First things first, we can have a reenactment of this scene here, where Zunisha just wrecks all the boats like she did with Jack, or people are saying the island is still on fire. Maybe she uses her trunk to spray water on the island and cool it down. She's huge though, so I was wondering maybe if she could help Momo move the island somehow. But yeah, then we just get a bit more sorry about Momo talking about his father's journal, and for some reason, you know, his dad taught the last page, and he doesn't know or understand what's going on. He's not smart enough to do that. He doesn't want to expose the people of Wano to dangers, and he does not wish to open the borders for that reason, and maybe he's a coward, so he's still trying to figure out himself what's going on. We then cut to the third floor and we see the battle between Rhizo and Fukurokuju, as a mouthful, has come to an end. And Rhizo has won. Fukurokuju is on the floor on fire, looking kinda extra crispy, burnt up there. And Rhizo is now on fire and drops to the floor. And Jinbei is passing through at the same time and he sees them. He sees Rhizo, that is, and he's like, you samurai, why aren't you running? You're kinda looking extra crispy. What's going on? And this leads to something important, because Rhizo says, you're with Luffy. How careless of me, the preparations were already complete. What preparations? Questions. We then cut to, I guess, one of the most important scenes in this chapter, and that is with Orochi. Orochi is wondering where his ninja Fukurokuju is, and we see Hiyori in the background playing her biwa with her mask on still. And this leads to essentially him asking her like, are you really Komurasaki? Are you a ghost? Because you're supposed to be dead. I remember you dying. And what's up with the mask? Why you always have on this mask? I mean, the place on fire too, so why are you playing this song? What's the scene? What's going on here? What is up? And while he's trying to figure all this out himself, we see the building begins to collapse and it falls on top of him. And he's trying to transform into his Yamato no Orochi form, but he can't, and it seems that the reason for that is Komurasaki. So she comes forward and she says, I used the Sea Prism Stone to ensure you couldn't transform. So she used nails, kind of like what Hawkins did to Law. But we don't know when she stabbed him with it because he didn't notice. So she moved stealthy like a ninja, kind of like Rhizo. But how and when did she do that? We don't know. And how did he not feel it? And she goes on to tell Orochi that, you know, I don't love you, because he's like, you know, you didn't you love me? And she's like, no, how could I love you? And she goes on to mention that strangely enough, that song that I play that you love so much, my father liked that song. And we get a call back to this panel here, or this scene, with her being younger, playing on her biwa, and Odin telling her that he liked this song, and the name of the song is called Moon Princess. And this is where she finally confesses to Orochi that I am basically Odin's daughter. And she removes her mask, or not really removes it, but she tells him. So I assume she would remove it because we see a panel with Orochi's face all in shock. Her mask is still on, but I would assume that she would remove the mask to add to that shock somehow. We then cut away and we go back to now Rhizo and CP0, and we see Rhizo has managed to shoot down the tall CP0 guy. I think his name is Maha. So both of them are out cold, and the other one, the leader, or who seems to be the leader, seems to be a bit injured, and he curses Rhizo again. He's like, damn you, Rhizo, why is the remnants of Blackbeard's crew, or sorry, Whitebeard's crew, why are the remnants of Whitebeard's crew helping these kids? Because we have Marco and Rhizo, and he's now concerning himself with, all this is putting me off, I need to get to Robin, that was orders. But while he's recovering, we see Maha is on the ground, his mask has fallen off. Maha, we want Rhizo to cover, but we don't see his face, and the boss essentially gets a phone call on his Denden Mushi while he's walking away, and this call is from Gorosei, and Gorosei tells him essentially your next mission, your top priority mission right now, is to take out Luffy. And he's confused, like, what do you mean take out Luffy? He's currently fighting with Kaido. That's kind of impossible to jump in that battle right now and interfere. But they tell him, you need to do this. This is a world-class battle, basically. And we can't let Luffy become the victor of this. We can't let this get out. So essentially, they send him on a mission to make sure Luffy dies, Luffy loses, something to that effect. But while he's getting this information relayed to him, we see Drake in the background getting back up for round 2, bloodied. So Drake probably is going to have a part to play in maybe trying to stop them, or finally going to the rooftop to help Luffy later on. So yeah, we then cut now to some more scenes around Onigashima. We see basically Usopp on top of Giraffe Guy running away with Kiku and not Kanjuro, Kinemon. Kanjuro is dead, well, supposedly. But yeah, Kinemon and Kiku are both there. We see Marco healing Wanda and Carrot. Yes, Carrot. I'm going to say Rabbit because she's a rabbit mink, but then I was like, no, I should probably use her real name. So we get that. We then cut to Zoro falling off the cliff, and we see Frankie caught him in time with his extendable arm, and he's worried because he's like, Zoro, are you alive? Talk to me. And he's screaming out for Zoro to answer him. We then cut back to the live performance for where Big Mom's fight was, and we see Zeus a bit worried. He's like, oh, Big Mom kind of dropped through the hole, is she okay? And Nami's like, Zeus, you need to make up your mind, me or Big Mom. And he chooses Nami again. But what's interesting is he isn't fused with her lightning rod anymore. So yeah, we just get more scenes of the Heart Pirates and the Kid Pirates again rejoicing. And while they're rejoicing, we see Law and Kid basically staring at the ceiling, tired from their battle, and Kid asks Law, he was like, you have enough energy? You still have enough? And Law is like, oh boy, nope. If Kaido wins this battle between Luffy and Kaido comes down here, that's it. I don't have the willpower to resist. But what's interesting is he didn't say he doesn't have the strength, he says the willpower. More reference to Komurasakiii. And then we cut to a clash with Luffy and Kaido clashing again on the roof with the lightning. And Kaido asks Luffy if he sensed that, and Kaido's like, they really done it. Linlin lost the fight because he senses that she kind of dropped off the map. And it feels like, that's amazing. Kid and Law managed to defeat her. And kind of like, you got a mouth on you, right? So let's go at it. And we get a mini flashback of a younger Big Mom, the hot Big Mom, you know, when she was pretty, this one here. And it's basically just him remembering some stuff where she talked to him, maybe one of the first times they met, and she asks if it's the first time with him teaming up with Rocks, and if he has any trouble or anything like that to come to her. She tells him her name and says she'll be king of the pirates, basically. So we see a bit more of their dynamic, maybe more of a brother-sister-esque relationship. And then Kaido goes on to say, you know, he begins to blame himself for Big Mom's loss, essentially. Especially since both of them just swore allegiance to help each other get the One Piece. Then get a panel of Luffy going gear what Snake Man. And he goes Snake Man and he proceeds to use a new move called Hydra. Gear Fort Snake Man Gomo Gomo no Hydra. Not this Hydra, but this type of Hydra. And he punches Kaido all over the face, and Luffy says, "This is my final Gear 4. He's not stopping until he runs out of strength, and he says he's going to drive Kaido out of Wano if it's the last thing he does. And the chapter ends. And what's interesting is Orochi is known as the Yamato no Orochi, or the Hydra, and he can't use that form anymore. So we didn't see it this chapter. However, Luffy uses a new move called Hydra, which is kind of a reference to the Orochi. So that's a cool little dynamic right there. But essentially the chapter ends with that, and we get Luffy proclaiming he's going to win. So we have to look out to see what happens next. But all in all, this was a good chapter. It sets up some questions with regards to Momo and what he's doing with Zunisha's role, and how Luffy is going to take down Kaido if this is his final Gear 4. Maybe it's foreshadowing he gets awakening, or maybe Gear 5, who knows, but we'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, all in all, this was a good chapter. This was one of those chapters that kind of like a collage, because a bunch of stuff just put together in there. So yeah, but a lot of information in this chapter. I know spoilers for Sunday's chapter is already out. Saw pieces of them, but we'll review and discuss that part on Sunday, maybe during the week next week. But yeah, all in all, good chapter. Hope to see you all for the next review when I post it. Be sure to check out some other videos on the channel. We reviewed that Skylight recently, so check that. Some food videos here and there too, check that. And yeah, look out for a new bear review soon as well. So yeah, check out those videos while they're here on the channel, and leave a like, leave a sub, and I'll see you all for the next review. Bye.